Alright everyone, we're back with B2GM episode 2. This time around we are in gold, so we're going to play against the Protoss to kick things off. And I want you guys to start adding some right habits because we're climbing the ladder, of course. So here we're gonna play against the Protoss, which means we need to wall. Make sure your pylon reaches the edge of the ramp like this, so you've got enough room to place your buildings. The reason why we make this wall is because as you climb the ladder, you're going to face adepts. And of course, adepts, thanks to shades, can go in your base and kill all your probes, which is a pretty bad thing to have happen to you. So we want to be able to wall with a little gap. And this little gap will enable us to maybe place a pylon on the battery to block the shades if they were to occur. So we're still following the same build as the previous video, which is, well, you know, 17 gas, 17, 18 other gas, man, I'm messing things up. Things are so automatic for me. I don't even look at the supply anymore at this point. So you want to chrono boost your Nexus again whenever you've got 50 energy. It's a mistake a lot of people do. They forget this second chrono boost, and because their pro production is slowed because of that, they have less economy and thus their build is delayed. So you don't want to mess that up. All right, put 2 probes inside each gas, so you're at, you know, 2 and 2, and when your core is started, you can add 1 more probe to the remaining gas to have 3 in both. The reason we're doing this is because we want to make a sentry and a stalker and warp gate, and all of this costs 200 gas in total. And if you don't put probes in the geysers early enough, you're gonna be lacking gas. So make sure to have 200 gas whenever the cyber core finishes. You can see it's getting very close to it. So the reason why we make a sentry and a stalker, and the stalker is for robustness basically, and the sentry is here to provide scouting. So warp gate, sentry and stalker. There you go. And this probe is going to go downstairs and make a pylon. So if you don't want to mess things up, you pick the closest minerals like this, and instead of gluing it to the mineral, you put 1 away. Leave just 1 gap, and it will never ever block your Nexus if you do it that way. And we go for round number 2. We add in another sentry, and we're gonna add another stalker. I'm a bit supply block because I was explaining, but your pylon should be finished at this point, right? So here my opponent's bothering me just a little bit with a pylon. Of course, he's trying to see what units I'm making, and he wants to potentially block my Nexus. So I'm gonna take a Nexus right now, and I'm going to place a battery. Don't make the battery like this at the front, because here it's too vulnerable. Make it at the back, right? Your unit should be in front, and your battery should be providing the healing from the back. So when this finishes, we're gonna add 1 more sentry and 1 more stalker. So basically we're doing stalker sentry 3 times in a row. And you can see him resume the pro production. We want another pylon. So this map is a bit tricky. The main base is a bit small, but I want a pylon for over here, for example, to have a lot of room to build my stuff. Whenever you've got 100 gas, you should be making a robo. So I have a bit more. I'm floating, but it's okay, you know. So I'm getting my robo. Make sure you hotkey your robo. It's very important, because when you get all in and it becomes panicky, if you will, it's very easy to be like, oh, where's all my shit? If you have your hotkey, just press it, you'll be fine. So you want to check when a hallucinated phoenix what's going on. Always try to take a safe path. Don't go right in the middle. You might get across some trouble. So you can see I'm going all the way here, the back at natural. This trajectory is much safer, and it reduces the likelihood of my hallucinated phoenix to actually die, and I don't want it to die, of course. The moment your Nexus finishes, you chrono boost it, and you also chrono boost your main, and you transfer probes so that you stay at 16. So I'm at 21. So 21 minus 5 is 16, and we'll just send these little workers over here. Make sure you always have workers queued. You do not want to be not building them, basically. And our robo is done. Do not click on it. Use your hotkey. You press B to make an observer. You press I to make an immortal. And if you can, chrono boost it. This is a very good habit you can also take. Now I'm gonna take a sneak peek at my opponent's base. All right, Twilight, which means potentially I could be facing DTs, so I really want to get an observer. Right, there it is. I'm gonna keep it home. And Robo Twilight. Twilight could mean blink as well, so immortals are gonna be good. Against gateway units and robo units, immortals are always going to be great, so I'm gonna make my own immortals and keep on going. If I can remember to chrono boost the robo, that's great. And every now and again, make sure to get a couple pylons so you don't get supply blocked. Usually you would, optimally, you would want to make only one, but if you tend to forget, just get 2 or 3 at once, who cares? So now, my natural is actually overly saturated, that's a mistake by me, so I need to get my geysers, because right now if I'm at 19 out of 16, it means that 3 pros are not optimally mining, which would rather be in the gas instead. So now I want to go on with my strategy, with my build. So I'm going to add once again the Twilight Council and the Forge right next to each other, so you don't forget to queue one upgrade and then the other one never gets started, right? And I can see there's a lot of room over here that's not covered by power fields. So I'm going to make a pylon over here, so you see I have even more room to make buildings. Looks like my robo is idle. I double tap the hotkey and I press I to queue another immortal. And if you have more APM, you could scout again, but before I scout, you need to always macro first. You only get the chance to scout once you've actually macroed first, right? What's the point of scouting if you've got nothing at home to respond to it anyway? So start charge and +1 attack, and then you want to chrono boost both. Make sure this upgrade gets started on time. And then it's time for l'explosion de gate, as they say in French. I'm sure they say that. Which means we're going to add gateways all the way to 10. We have the 2 first from the other game, so we need 8 more. So if you put them in packs like this, it's very easy to know how much you've made, right? Instead of just making one here like that, like a fucking 12-year-old. The room of a 12-year-old, right? If you put them together like this, it's very easy to tell how much you see. There's a line of 3, a line of 3, line of 2. Quick maths, easy. Then you want to add your Templar archive so that you can put all your gas into Archons and your minerals into Zealots. This will make your income basically line up perfectly. If I want to attack, of course, I need the ability to warp in units on the battlefield instead of just warping at home, and the Zealot would have to cross all the way across the map. So I need this bad boy, the Warp Prism. And because I've made tons of gates, I need a ton of pylons, because otherwise I'm gonna get supply blocked. And turns out being supply blocked doesn't really help climbing the ladder. So we're gonna get even too many pylons. Make too many pylons, it's okay. It's okay. Rather be making too many pylons than supply block. So you spend your gas first. There you go. Always make sure you have pairs of 300 gas, basically, because you need 300 gas to make a full Archon, because it's 150 times 2. And if you have a lone High Templar in your army, I'm going to purposely warp a single High Templar, which is a mistake. Now you see at the bottom of your screen, the High Templar is taking over the sentries, which means I would need to press tab, and it's very annoying in a fight. It's very annoying to have to press an extra button, right, to actually use Guardian Shield and Force Fields. So make sure you have at least 300 gas to warp in your pair of Templars instead of just warping in a single one, which is going to mess up your army. So always make sure you warp Templars in pair. And you also want to spend the rest of your money. So you spend the gas first, because why do you spend gas first? It's because the Archons are the best units. They tank more and they deal more damage. So you want to make more of these, right? And then with the leftover money you've got, in this case mineral, you get Zealots. So I'm just gonna F2 if you would like to, but I would like you to hotkey your army as well. You can press F2 to select everything, and then you go Control 1 if you desire to make your control group of your army in 1. And then instead of pressing F2, from now on you only press 1. See, I'm going 1A click, 1A click, 1A click. I'm not pressing F2 anymore. I only used it to basically make sure all my shit is grouped up properly. But now that, oh, what the hell, this guy's expanding like madman. So my gateways have refreshed, which means it's time for another round. You can warp extra Archons if you want to take your time, but if you want to attack right away, like it's the case for me, because this Nexus is ongoing, I will make Zealots because they take less time. They don't need to morph into Archon. So I'll just move behind it, right? I'm not doing anything fancy, right? I'm just gonna move behind the army, and I'm not doing anything. I don't want to pretend. I could press one button, I could press G, for Guardian Shield. That's the only button you could press, and that's enough. You don't need to do anything crazy at this level. You don't need to do fancy micro or try to pretend to be like max packs. It's going to be counterproductive. Make sure you focus on macroing first, getting your build straight, and then as you climb the ladder and as you master certain aspects of the game, then you can build from them. You need to build strong foundations first. And the very bottom of the pyramid, the bottom of the house basically, is strong macro, being able to produce workers, make units, get your buildings on time. And as you get better at doing this, you can maybe add some chrono boost because they will optimize your build. And then you get better at making pylons. And then whenever you feel very solid at all of this, you will be in Diamond 1 if you're doing this. You can get to Diamond 1 without ever microing once in your whole life, I promise. If you want to take your StarCraft to the next level, I've created a coaching site on which you could join my Discord, book a session with me, and soon I will be adding tutorials and guides. So make sure you check out my coaching site. The link is in the description. Some haters would say Protoss players don't even micro in GM, but don't listen to these guys. So we get the chance to play a Terran opponent this time around, and I'm going to show you a little extra thing you can do in the early game, which is camera hotkeys. So camera hotkeys will help you navigate between your bases faster, right? Which will aid in defending later on in the game, right? Because if you have to Privyet, I can read Cyrillic, that's okay. So Terran, and I'm gonna get a pylon at 14. I just want to make sure I get my pylon before I set up my camera hotkeys, because well, I'm sorry, my knowledge of this language is pretty limited. So I press Control F2 in my case, but maybe your hotkeys will be different for you. Maybe it's Control F1. So use whatever you feel comfortable. And then Control F3, right, for me, or F2 for you perhaps. And you can put these camera hotkeys. Kakdela, I think it's how are you? Dobrze. I'm sorry, I know Polish better than Russian, sadly. All right. Notice I'm not really focusing on scouting at all these days because I want you to make sure your build is clean before you actually overwhelm yourself with more actions in the form of scouting. So you see, for example, imagine you're fighting on this side of the map like this, and you can see on your minimap there's a drop. Instead of clicking on a minimap, I can just press my camera location and jumps right there. It's going to make things easier for you. But these habits are difficult to form, so repetition and practice is of course going to be key here. So don't be too scared if you forget to actually press the buttons. It will come with time as you practice. So 20 gas, 20 cybercore and 20 nexus. And then we're going to get a pylon downstairs. You see I'm resuming probes already. And I'm getting a pylon here. The reason why I'm making a pylon over here and not there, for example, is because if my opponent makes Hellions, I want to have a wall like this. If my opponent decides to attack, I want to be able to warp in units rapidly. And I also want to be able to make a battery to protect my units, right? So this is why this pylon is very important. Cybercore is done. It's time for a Stalker that we can chrono boost and warp gate. Do not forget warp gate. The reason why we're chrono boosting this Stalker is because a Reaper should spawn at exactly 2 minutes. So at 2 minutes, the Reaper spawns, and then it's gonna cross the map and come to your base. If you do not chrono boost the Stalker, the Reaper, assuming your Terran opponent decides to build one, will be there before your unit is finished, because you had refused to chrono boost it, which means the Reaper, if well controlled, will be able to kill a couple probes, which of course does not really help in the future. So if I want to navigate between my bases, instead of using the minimap, I can just press my camera location and right click it. What do we do when the Nexus is finished in natural? What do? We chrono boost it. And I can press my camera location again and chrono boost this one also. Looks like my gateway is idle, which is a mistake, so I'm going to resume the production and get one more Stalker. And get my Robo, as you do. This is getting dangerous, only one probe getting queued on both Nexi, so I'm gonna get a couple more. 4 queued. It's not optimal, but I'd rather do something that's not optimal and make sure at least I'm making probes than try to do everything perfectly and then I realize I was actually not building probes the whole time. So I want to get 2 extra gateways. This will help me defend anything that comes my way, right? And oof, my supply is getting close to 46. I will get some pylons. Pylons like this on the edges not only provide vision over here, for example, sometimes the Liberator can chill over here, I can see it, and it gives me room to actually make more buildings. Oh, I'm not making probes. Aye, big mistake. Let's press the button E a couple times. And now I press my robo hotkey, BI once again, to get an observer and an immortal. We could even chrono boost it if we're feeling like it. And my minimap is pretty dark at this point, so I think it's time to scout a little bit. So I'm just gonna scout. I make an hallucinate phoenix, and once again I'm taking a safe path. I'm not going YOLO like this because there's probably a bunker over here. So I'm gonna go all the way like this. See, this path is more likely to be safer. And like this. If I go straight in the middle like this, there's a chance my hallucinated phoenix gets sniped, and then I will not be able to see anything. Oh, I'm massively overprobed over here, and I need to get the geysers. Oh shit, what happened outside? I was got a heart attack. So, dangerously close to being supply blocked. Let's get some pylons. And these pylons will provide a lot of room. My robo is idle. Big mistake. I'm gonna get another immortal. Now, I've got everything that I need. What is the next step in this strategy? Yes, it's Twilight and Forge, because otherwise unupgraded units are terrible. So I need charge and I need some +1 attack. Notice I'm just basically doing the same game plan in all 3 matchups, and I think it's much better to do it that way, because then you can only focus on fundamentals instead of trying to learn different builds at once. It's like trying to learn 3 instruments at once, you know, stick to one, learn the base, and just learn it. Okay, what do you do when the Liberator shows up? Box your probes, right-click away, and then warp in outside the circle. And I really fucking mean it. So many people just warp inside the circle and then the units just die. Right, so I'm just gonna go around it nicely, taking my time. I just don't want to lose any units. And see, like this, I'm in range. And as the Liberator dies, make sure you put the probes back to work and start with the geysers. See, I went 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 like that. Since I've lost some probes, what I can do is just rapidly chrono boost both my next side, so I can recover from the loss. And then I can go on with my build. I don't over panic, over make units, I just follow my build again. +1 attack and charge. If we've got the APM for that, we will chrono boost both our buildings. And it's time for the gateway explosion. We have 3, we want 10, so we need 7 extra. And see, I'm not making buildings like this. I'm really like American cities, basically, in big blocks like this, right? And see how much easier it is when you do it like this? So we've got 7 extra for a total of 10. You can add them to your hotkey, and make sure you do not forget your Templar Archive. Once you've got all your gateways, we need some pylons to be able to actually warp in units, right? Don't be shy. Make a beautiful base full of pylons like this, and to make sure you will not get supply blocked. And then, what do? We start making units. Always span your gateways, right? I could even get a war prism because we're going to attack at some point. Let's go get the prism. And I want to regroup. You see I've got units in my main, there's stuff all over the place. I'm going to press F2 and right click down there to just make sure all my units are in the same place. So remember, we are spending the gas first, and we want high Templars in pairs. So right now I'm not looking at my screen, I'm looking at the top right, because I want to make sure I've got 300 every time. So now I've got over 1k gas, so we're good. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, I've got 400, which means I can make one pair. Okay, perfect. And I'm gonna morph these bad boys. Try to learn the habit. Every time you warp in units, a big round of units, get some pylons. Just like that. And then you can F2, Control 1. this will make a hotkey. And from then on, I don't want to use F2 ever again. I want to... Basically, 1 will be your F2 button in this case. Now I'm waiting for my gateways to be refreshed. I'm looking at my gas. Right now I'm looking at the top right-hand corner of my screen. Okay, I can get 1. Oh, I don't have 300. I don't have 300 gas yet, which means I cannot warp a pair. Now I do. Now I can actually finish the pair. And because I've got no gas left at all, I only got minerals, I will burn the rest of my minerals into zealots. And make sure I morph these units together. Now we'll press F2 to have everything together. Control 1. And now I will no longer use F2. I will only use my 1 hotkey to learn this habit. So I will A move across the map. So it looks like I could potentially attack from this side. I could maybe attack from that side. I will pick this one. No big deal. And I will cross the map like this. Looks like my forge is idle. I could potentially research +2 attack. I could maybe get blink as well. It's a very useful upgrade in this matchup. And now if I want to get back to my army, I just double tap 1. Oh, looks like there's a planetary fortress. I'm just gonna avoid it a little bit so that I can warp in a safe location. I turn my warp prism into phase mode, and because I do not want to waste time, I want to attack right now. I do not want to wait morphing time of the Archons. I want to go now. So I'm gonna go G for Guardian Shield and A move behind it. Make sure you press Guardian Shield. It makes a very big difference against bio units, especially Marines. Right? And I just A move behind it, and I do not control anything else. The only thing you have to do now is to monitor whether you're actually winning the fight or not, and make sure you warp in more units. Right now, I'm sure my gates are refreshed. See? They're all ready. All my gateways are ready, so I need to warp again. And I will take my time. Instead of rushing... Okay, goal number 1 has been accomplished. I will box my zealots. Shift 1 to add to the control group. Okay. Unphase the prism, if that's an English word, and put it a bit closer, because the mistake some people do is they attack here and the warp prism is in, you know, they're attacking in Los Angeles and the prism is still in fucking New York. So make sure you get it close so that your warping will be even closer, which means your zealots will be able to reinforce in the fights faster. I will go for 1 more round of units. I will box my zealots, shift 1 to add to the hotkey, and now I'm just pressing 1 to control my army. I will cautiously work go up the ramp like this, and what I can do is spread my army just a little bit to have a wide concave, right? My opponent is using siege tanks, and siege tanks attack, of course, in AoE. So the more my army is packed, the more damage I'm gonna take in my face, right? So I want to spread my army. I have a good arc. Oh, my gates are ready. I'm gonna warp in again, one last time. Control. Like box, shift, 1, and everything's together. Now I press 1, and I will just A move, attack move behind the natural, and just go for it and see what happens. Now, my goal right now is to monitor whether the fight is going well. If the fight is going terribly wrong, I will just pull away, walk away. If the fight is going well, I keep on going. Right now the fight is going well. For me, looks like I'm losing a bit on the right, but it's okay. I will rapidly go back to my prism and spend my gateway. Right now it's 20 more supply. It's a very big deal. 20 more supply, and just reinforce like this. And if my army is a mess and I forgot to re-hotkey, you can use F2 in panic. It's okay. It's totally okay to do it. Perfectly fine. The best Ploros on the planet, hero, destroys the F2 key that it needs to buy a new keyboard every 2 months. So you should be okay with that. And I'm gonna finish the game by moving up the ramp again. Right? And you see I'm not doing anything fancy. Right now I'm just paying attention to whether I'm taking a good fight or not. But you have to take into consideration that at gold generally it's very difficult to control your army properly. So I'm not doing anything fancy. I just want to make sure my macro is right, which means I'm always making units. And then when I do decide to fight, instead of focusing on, oh my god, I need to pick up with the prism and so on, which is what professionals do, instead of fixing your fight, so to speak, you make sure you take a good one. And to take a good fight, you actually need to take your time and have a wide concave. The problem that people do is sometimes they will just go in a big ball, right? But when you're a big ball, one, you take more damage from AoE units of your opponent, as I said, but also the units at the back are not able to properly fire. Whereas if you have a big line, a concave, all your units are going to be able to shoot at once, which is very favorable for you. So instead of trying to pick up micro or blink micro, focus on starting the fight well. This is half the battle. I think this is even more than half the battle. It's probably 80% of the job, honestly. Okay, so Nexus, and there you go. I make a little probe. Once again, camera hotkey. I go down. Camera hotkey. 1, 2, 1, 2. There you go. My opponent is saying hello, good luck. Of course, we're going to make our pylon before we respond to it. I will say that following the build is more important than matters. I've got my probe started, I've got my pylon started. I can say hello, good luck, have fun. Right? Don't get supply blocked because you want to chat with your opponent. This is not very recommended. Okay, we're gonna go for a gateway and chrono boost on the Nexus to allow to build probes faster. More probes, more money. More money, more problems, but in StarCraft 2 more money is never a problem, let me tell you that. So, okay. 16 out of 16, which means I can change my rally point towards my geyser. And I'm rapidly gonna tab out to check what time it is because I've got an appointment at 4. Okay, we've got time, I can keep on recording, it's fine. I'm at 19 supply. This probe over here being queued up is the 19th probe. This one, the next one is gonna be 20, right? So right now I don't have 20 probes on the field. I've got 19 plus this one queued, right? This is how it works. So I'm gonna grab a probe as my gateway is about to complete to get my core. There you go. I press my camera hotkey, location, right click, and we're gonna go Nexus. Remember, we want to use, see this little thingy on the minimap? Map editors have done that so that we can actually find the perfect pylon location. So there you have it. And you see the line literally kisses the edges, which is what we want. Okay, oh shit, I've got 4 out of 3, that's a mistake. Go back to the minerals, my friend. Need to get my gas at 22, there we go. Core finishes, pylon is done, stalker, chrono boost, and warp gate. And now all I have to do is make probes. And I'm paying attention to 2 things. Am I making probes? Yes, perfect. Is my gateway making something? Yes, perfect. Warp gate is queued, beautiful. Now I want to get a sentry for scouting and potential defense. And I want to make sure my gas is filled. See, I'm 19 and not enough in the gas. Oh my god, that's so suboptimal. So I'll always make sure my gases are mining properly, otherwise I will only be able to make low quality units. Alright, I will write it down there as my Nexus is about to finish. And I'm at 18 out of 16, which is a bit too much. Grab 2 to make it 16 out of 16, beautiful. Press the camera hotkey, put it there, and now press E like a madman. Chrono boost, camera location, chrono boost, and we should be fine for the next 40 seconds maybe. Now I'm gonna go make one final stalker and go on with my build and get a robo. When you get the robo, immediately hotkey it. Very important. Molto importante, as they say somewhere probably. Okay, am I still making probes? Yes, but now only 2 being queued. I want to make sure I've got a bit more in the tank, so I'm gonna queue a couple more. I'm gonna get some gates. I've got room here, I've got room there. Let's get 2 extra gates. And what do we do after we make those gates? Yes sir, we make pylons. We make pylons to have room to make stuff later in the game because we anticipate. We're not living in the present moment, we're living in the future. So I make 2 pylons that will enable me to have plenty of room. See this pocket base? I don't see anything. This is bad. Let's get a pylon there to get some more vision. And to retrieve the probe back to work, I press my camera location in the natural and right click. There you go, beautiful. My robo is done. Do I click on it? No, we don't click. We press the hotkey. Let's learn this habit. I don't click on the logo, I press B, I press I. I'm learning the right habits for later, right? If I'm learning the bad habits, I will need to not only unlearn them, but learn new ones, which makes the task twice more difficult. Back to pro production, geyser, and I've been bothered in the previous game by units, so I'm not gonna make the same mistakes. I'm gonna warp in 3 stalkers out of safety. I'm even going to make a battery because I'm shitting my pants right now. Okay, time to scout. sentry, hallucination, and I click on the map in a safe position, and I use shift. Shift, right click, like this. And then it does, this is what happens when I use shift. Okay. Now, Immortal is done. I'm gonna queue a new one, and we go Templar Archive, or Twilight Council, and Forge, like this. And I need some more pylons. I'm gonna glue them together like this, supply and room. Always want to glue your buildings together so you have more room available. Just like a big bag, I don't know, you put the rocks, the big rocks first, and then you put the sand. Because if you put the sand first, then there's no room for the big rocks. That's how it works. Okay, let's see what's going on. Okay, some barracks. Okay, looks like he's playing fairly standard. So, okay, no. I'm not seeing 3 starports making battle cruisers, so I don't need to panic. This is pretty much what I'm looking for right now. Everything seems to be normal. Doesn't mean I'm able to interpret things properly, but at least it seems to be somewhat normal and not being mass banshee or something like that. So, which I can go back home and get my gates all the way to 10 once again. Always put them together, of course, like this. And of course, if you surround your gates with pylons or vice versa, you're gonna have more supply, more pylons to protect your buildings in case a drop arrives and would target your pylons, right? So some more pylons, of course. And now I've got my gates, I've got my Templar Archive, I've got my pylons, I've got more attention left to queue another Immortal and maybe chrono boost all of that, right? Might as well spend the energy. F2, regroup, and maybe start warping in some units. Last game I was a bit sloppy, a bit slow. I'm gonna try to increase the pace, but realistically not too much. I'm not gonna go from Slowpoke to Ocean Bolt. I'm just gonna try to force myself to be even 2 APM faster, if I have to. Okay, now I'm looking at my gas. I can see I can make 1 pair, another pair. Do I have 300? Yes or no? The answer is no, then no Templar. I have enough for 1 Templar, but not for 2, and I'm only warping my Templars in pairs. So, I'm waiting. I will press F2 to regroup everything, make sure I regroup my army, Control 1 to make sure I've got the control group. And once again, I forgot my warp prism, so I'm just gonna press the hotkey to get a prism, and I will chrono boost. Now I'm waiting for my gateways to be refreshed, and when they are, do I have 300? Yes. Do I have 300? No. Then Zealous. No gas, no Templar. I select my units, shift 1 to add to the control group, and I've been warping a crap ton of units. I have not made any pylons in a while, so I'm just gonna go get some pylons like that to make sure I've got some supply. I will grab my prism, add it to the control group 1, and I think, my friends, it's time to go for it. On my minimap, I can see the 2 circles, which is now 3 as I'm speaking, which generally indicates defensive gameplay, right? This is what it generally indicates, because people who make lots of sensor towers just want to know what's going on and they want to play it safe. Always rewarp before you go. There you go. And because right now there's a ramp, do I really want to go up a ramp without knowing what's going on? It seems a bit dangerous to me. I will grab my observer and poke, just to see what he has. Okay, there's a wall, there's a turret, 2 turrets even. It seems to be a bit dangerous to walk up this ramp, isn't it? Well, you know what? I'm a man of danger, but I've got lots of gas. So you see I'm gonna warp in my Templars first, because now, if I'm only making Zealots against the wall, my units will be stuck until the gate is open. But Archons, on the other hand, are ranged. So I'm gonna go for it because I'm a madman. I'm gonna press G for Guardian Shield, A move behind the mineral line, and see what happens. So is it a good fight or is it catastrophic? Okay, it seems to be catastrophic, so I'm just gonna pull back, you know. I accept my mistake and I'm just gonna pull back and just rewarp again. Right. Because it's very hard to actually break through, I'm gonna expand myself, right? It's very hard to break through realistically, so I'm just going to expand further. When you expand, resume the pro-production. and rally point towards the fresh base. And now I'm gonna monitor what's going on a little bit. Go in my main. Okay, forge is idle. Get +2. 4 mineral patches have expired, so I'm just gonna get half of my probes and send them to the fresh base that's about to complete. And now I can go back. Okay, it seems to be healthy. I'm going to keep on spending my money. I don't want my gateways to be idle because it's suboptimal, basically. I want to have as many units as possible. If you can see tanks firing at you, F2 and pull away a little bit. Now, how do we break this kind of guy? This guy is just camping like a madman, and it's very annoying to deal with. How to deal with that? You grab 4 zealots and put them inside your warp prism. And now you will send the warp prism over here. And before you do, grab your army, control 1. This is very important. Otherwise, if you have 2, you will bring the prism with you. I will put myself over here in a safe spot. And I will send this prism and see if I can get something done. Does he have turrets? Ah, yes, he has turrets. I'm going to try to find an opening. There are literally turrets everywhere. Okay, this is going to be very hard to deal with. Fine, I will keep on making probes, and I could potentially get one more forge because the game is gonna drag on, right? Maybe there's an opening over here, who knows? Let's try. There's an opening, maybe. Is there a turret over here? Yes, there's a turret. There's no turret, so I'm just gonna drop like this and warp like that, see? And now I'll press the 1 hotkey, Guardian Shield, and go there. Okay, there's too many tanks. I will not be able to break that. It's impossible. It's impossible to break that. How can I get rid of that? Maybe some air units. How about some air units? Tanks don't shoot up after all. So I'm gonna go armor upgrade, and I will queue +1 air already because I will want to get some upgrades for later. If I want to make Stargate units, I will need a lot of gas and I will need a lot of money. So you know what? This pocket base, I'm gonna take it now. Can already take the gas because so that I don't forget for later. And just take this base. And make probes like a madman. You can go all the way to 70 to 80 if you'd like to, but just make sure your geysers are all mining. You see 1, 2, 3 over here, 1, 2, 3 there, 1, 2, 3 here as well, perfect. My Stargate is finished. I'm gonna go get my fleet beacon to allow me to make actual good units. And I'm gonna go get 3 Stargates, that's a good number. More Stargates is gonna be too expensive, right? But 3 can enable me to make 3 carriers at a time, which is gonna be quite nice. But I still want to get some ground upgrades too. Okay, I'm just gonna go back. So now it looks like he's trying to expand a bit further, and I don't want to let that happen. So my warp prism just died. I will just warp my units at home. It's okay. I will grab them, just F2. And keep on making probes. Check my main. Oh, my natural is getting out of resources. To the gas. 1, 2, 3. And to the minerals. Okay. Now I will poke just a little bit to see if he's trying to expand. Okay, he's not. He broke the rocks. Okay, I'm gonna get triple carriers now. And all my Nexus energy will be spent on carriers. I just heard upgrade done. I will queue the next one. It's very important to play with the sound also. You know, very frequently you hear your immortal saying, oh, I return to serve or whatever. Upgrade complete, use your headphones. It's very important. Now what I could do... Oh, okay. I could have gone for it, but it's not an easy choice to make. Right now I'm making carriers and they're not finished just yet. So do I really want to engage before my units are ready? Especially capital ships like carriers? Probably not. Upgrade is finished. You need to queue the attack upgrades for carriers. This is so important. It makes a huge deal. Like, it makes an even bigger deal than you can possibly imagine. So make sure you queue the upgrades, otherwise your units will be shit. Now you see I'm capped. What can I do? You see, I need 2 more supply. I need 6 supply to get a carrier, but I only have 4 left. I'm going to sacrifice this idiot over here, and now I have enough supply. 1, 2, 3, and chrono that. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna make a dark shrine, you know. You know, invisible boys are pretty powerful sometimes too. This base is completely out of cash, so I'm gonna take this one. And I'm gonna spread some pylons, you know, in case my opponent decides to attack, I can see it coming. Use shift for that. Shift pylon, shift, 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 all the way. See, I just heard Vespene guys expired over here. Now I'm just gonna rapidly try not to die. Okay, I'm gonna Guardian Shield up and a move behind it. I monitor. Am I taking a good fight? Yes or no? It looks like I'm crushing it. I will rapidly warp again, select my zealots, and go with it. Okay, and I will go kill. I will take just a moment to regroup my units. Okay, do I have carriers left? Oh, I have 3 carriers. I'm gonna queue some more. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And now there's downtime. The fight is over, which means I've got some breathing room. And breathing room should always be used to macro, get upgrades, queue carriers, and make sure your bases are mining properly. See, I've got 3 lazy boys over here to the fresh base. Natural, 8 out of 8, perfect. 22 out of 16. I grab 6, and I go there. Okay, now it's better. I will remake the pylon that I lost, the fast warping pylon, and go back here. And now all I want is to make good units. So, carriers. Do I really want to make zealots and try to go up a ramp like this? Terrible idea. So now I will just focus on making carriers and upgrades. Every time I can chrono boost again, I will do so. My +2 attack is about to complete. I don't want to be late for my appointment. It's fine, we're still on time. And I'm rapidly going to queue +3 attack because carriers benefit amazingly to upgrades once again. And okay, I'm just monitoring right now, just making sure. Okay, my forge is spinning. Yes, forge is spinning, core is spinning, carriers are being queued. It's all I'm doing. I don't need to go like this, you know. No, just make sure the big things are being dealt with. If you look at the left of your screen, you can see I've got 3 probes chilling, so they're gonna go to work. I need my gases. There we go. And looks like my bases are just mining nicely. Because upgrades benefit so much to carriers, it could be a great idea to attack the moment my +3 attack finishes. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna purposefully, you know, right now I cannot make more carriers because I'm supply capped, basically. But I'm still gonna wait for this upgrade to finish because it makes such a big deal. And when you're supply capped, it's a good idea to get more gateways because you will be able to reproduce more units in the fight. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a good number. Look at this base. Overly mining. They could go here to the gas. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And now I'm just noticing I forgot to make a warp prism and I've got no supply left. When that happens, kill when you're a 2 supply unit like a zealot so you can free some room to get a warp prism. And now I'm just chrono boosting this. I can just rapidly scout if I want to, send my hallucination. Because I know it's got turrets all over the place, I'm just gonna bit by bit go and see what's going on. So what is our friend doing? Siege tanks and Thors. Okay, it's blinking here, Hellion. Okay, maybe I need some cannons. Maybe I need a cannon or 2. Okay, I need to take care of that. I will just bring my army. It's okay. Pull the probes away. The priority is to pull the probes away so you don't lose all your units to the harassment. And as the threat has been dealt with, make sure you put the guys back to the gas. Okay, perfect. My upgrade is about to be complete, which means it's gonna be time to go. We wanted to attack with +3 attack on air upgrades for carriers. Now you can see it's ready. I don't want to wait for too long because I don't want to give him time to research his own upgrades, assuming he's not 3-3 already. Before you go, make sure your Warp Prism is in phase mode so it doesn't A-move into the opponent's army. Then second, spread your army just a little bit like this so you don't go into a big box. Once you've got your concave, press G for Guardian Shield, A-move behind it, and then pray for the best. But with such an army, you should be just fine. And as you go, keep warping in more units like this. Now you can see I can pull maybe my carriers back because I'm taking a horrible fight. Now this fight is going horribly wrong, so I'm just gonna go away. It's okay. And I'm just gonna get 3 more carries, and Immortal. Immortals are gonna be pretty good against these guys. I'm gonna spend my gas into Archons. I got some more gates over here. And because I need to be able to make more Immortals to deal with the Thors, I'm gonna get 2 more Robos, and I will immediately add them to my hotkey. Okay, I'm in a bit of a trouble, actually. I'm a bit of a trouble. I'm just gonna queue more Immortals. Oh, this motherfucker is stuck. Jesus Christ. Okay, it's okay. My Forge... I'm done researching 3-3, basically, so I'll just kill this Forge and research the shields on the other one. I only need 1 at this point. Okay. You know what you can do when you're in panic? Get some DTs. Maybe forget to scan, and maybe you can have some good things happen to you. Big concave again, and just go and see what happens. Keep warping in as you go if you can. Oh, looks like it's going much better. I keep on pressing F2, right? Because I just heard in my headphones that Carriers is ready, so I don't want him to just stay idle. I want him to come with me in my army. And now I just destroyed his army. And when you destroy your opponent's army, it's a very good moment to 1. Rewarp, and B, go again. Go for it again. I will morph my DTs into Archons because I know there's plenty of turrets, plenty of detection. So we'll just go here again. And I will get ready for round 2. I just lost my base, which is actually pretty annoying. I will do 1 last warp in, grab my units, and I will go for it. Okay. Rewind. Okay, I had 100 supplies left. So this game was over. I had only 3 Thors, and this is what I had. Okay, so this game was actually more complicated than this, but I'm going to rapidly check the replay to see what I could have improved. So here, for example, what could have been done differently in such a game? Okay, let's pay attention to it. This is very important, actually. I can see I'm a bit ahead in supply, but because of the map layout, it's very hard to break from this wall, right? Very hard to go for it. He sees me coming thanks to the sensor tower, and he's got a wall. So I'm trying to go for it. And realistically, it's very hard to go up a ramp. So what can I do? What could I potentially do? I could potentially drop. There's so many turrets. It's impossible to drop. So when it's impossible to break through, you need to expand more. Right now, what I should have done is take this Nexus, maybe take this Nexus also, both at once, get many probes, add 1 more Forge, because this guy, you know, is making sensor towers, turrets, expansions, things that will not be able to cross the map and kill me, which is why I'm so far ahead in supply, right? All this money is being invested in defenses, but I cannot break through because of this layout. So what do? Nexus, probe, second Forge, maybe +1 attack, +1 armor, and then maybe I can tech into air, or maybe I can go into storm, more tech to be able to go from there, right? When your opponent is defending and you cannot break through, expand even more than them, right? Because you see this fight went horribly wrong because of this wall, right? So this is what I could have done. I could have gone for Storm. My opponent never made Ghosts. What if I made Storm? Storm could have been amazing in this kind of game, right? Just go Storm. Maybe I could have expanded faster. After all, my opponent is defending, is chilling. So why the hell not take more bases, right? This is how you analyze a replay. This is how you actually do it. Alright, I wanted to play more games. Actually, I wanted to play more games. But I did not expect my opponents to play so defensive today as mech and camping. But this is part of the game. This is how it goes. So you see, if I'm looking at the graph, this is what you can do also, is check the graphs. For example, if I look at the graph, I can see I've done a very good job making probes in the early stages. But later on, I just stopped making probes, and my opponent got so many SCVs that I got behind in economy. And it will show in the resource collection rate. See, he's mining way more than I am at this point. Which means my mistake was not expanding fast enough, right? My mistake was not taking a bad fight. My mistake was not realizing my opponent was camping and that I should have camped and expanded even more, right? That's the main mistake. And then the rest can be consequences of that, right? So this is pretty much for this replay. The next episode will be, of course, Platinum to Diamond, or maybe only Diamond and try to cover, because Diamond is actually, I think, the hardest league to break through from Diamond to Master. So I'll take maybe a bit more time to cover that. I'll see you in the next one, and I wish you a very pleasant day. Bye-bye.